I grew up in a small village in Cornwall with my parents and my elder sister and younger brother. And when I reached 16, my academic interest wasn't great, but I did really have a heart to work with children. So I left school and actually moved up to the city and moved up to London to work in a children's home so I could train as a nursery nurse. That was a huge shock to the system, going from the protected environment I'd been in to the city, and the challenges actually of working in a children's home. But I learned a lot in the next 4 years, and after that went over to the United States to be a nanny to 6 children in Chicago. That was a very different experience and challenge, but amazing. And then came back to London and actually worked with children and families for the next number of years, which led me in time into training to be a social worker, and later on again a counsellor. During that time I met my husband David, and we got married in 1982 and went on to have 3 children. But the reason we came to Egham was we were living in a very small flat in Shepherd's Bush, and as the family grew we were bursting at the seams. So we came out to find more space. That was the bottom line. We just needed a bigger house, and this was where we found one. And once we came here, I think I went to many churches to see what felt, could be our spiritual home. And that's actually how we ended up at St John's. So I grew up with Christian parents. My dad was a local Methodist lay preacher, and as was my granddad actually. My mum played the chapel organ for 65 years. So I grew up in the faith, but it wasn't just that they were churchgoers. They lived their faith, and that really did influence me, I think, in growing up. So that was a great foundation. I think leaving home at 16 was hard because it was hard to get involved in a church when I worked shifts in London. So I think my journey, there have been times when I suppose I feel I've sort of lost my way a bit, but God has just always drawn me back. And in my 20s I was part of a Baptist church, and I actually was baptised full immersion then, which was a very important moment. But I feel God has just walked with me and always drawn me back, and has never left me. So my faith has always been there. I think finding a spiritual home at St John's was amazing, because obviously I've been there a long time, but the people there have journeyed with me through some very significant losses in my life. And I think the love and support of people, not just in the church but in my life, I felt Jesus just brought me through and has brought me through all of it. So yeah, he's never really left me. So I feel that God's always called me to work with people, and I do have a real heart for journeying with people. So for me that's people within the church family, but it's also friends and my own family, which is growing. I feel God uses us in any situation, and I want to be just his love to the world. I feel like Jesus has a heart for suffering people and hurting people, and I feel I want to be part of showing that love. And that's both in the church and outside of the church and in the world. And my links with Child Action Lanka in Sri Lanka are still very strong and very important. I don't know whether I'll get back there anytime soon, but as soon as I can, I want to. Because again, it's a privilege to be with people and just share the love I've received with a hurting world.